Hey guys, thanks for coming back. Today is a shorter practice and it is all about mindfulness and calming you down and bringing you just into the present moment. So I hope you join me today. We're going to do a lot of forward folding, bringing the heart over the head, some inversions today, and really just allowing you to connect to your body and breath. And then we end with something called Brahmari, which is a breath work, pranayama in yoga, where we hum like a bumblebee. So I really hope you enjoy the practice and I encourage you to give it a shot. Thanks guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Today's short practice is all about calming, going inward, becoming a little bit more mindful. So we'll do a little bit of inversions today, getting the heart over the head and some forward folding. And then we'll end with a nice, fun, really calming pranayama practice. So a little bit of breathing technique at the end that I can't wait to do with you. So let's get started. Go ahead and start in downward facing dog. So fingertips are spread wide, lifting the hips, drawing them back in space. And we'll stay here for a little bit. So if you need to take breaks with your down dog, feel free to come down to knees and take puppy pose and let the head just resting here. So otherwise, coming into down dog, lift the hips, draw them back. Take a full inhale. Take a long exhale. And if you are feeling a little bit fidgety, go ahead and get those movements out, but then try to come into a more calm and still downward facing dog. Allow the gaze to be in between the legs. And then gently bend the knees. And taking a block, if you don't have a block, you can just repeat downward facing dog again. Bringing the block a little bit closer to the body. We'll take down dog with our forehead supported on the block. So it might take a little bit of positioning adjustment. The forehead and the hairline will kind of line up with the block, just like so. So we'll try that now. Otherwise, repeating downward facing dog or puppy pose. Spread the fingers. Allow the head to rest. And I like to think about right where my forehead and hair meet is where I rest my head. Making sure that the neck is long still. Quietly observing the stillness of your body and your breath. One more. And slowly coming down to the knees and releasing the block here. We'll take pigeon pose, and I must say if pigeon pose is not the pose for you today, I'll show you the first option and then we'll go into our pigeon. So lying on the back, crossing one ankle over the other, you'll draw the legs in close and you can take your hand and just hug that leg in. So this is called number 4 stretch or thread the needle stretch. So you'll do that as we take pigeon pose. So if you're moving on to pigeon pose, coming through downward facing dog, lift the hips up, and then we'll start with the left leg. So stepping the left leg forward, spin the knee out, coming to the side of the left shin, curl the right toes under, walking yourself back. So high pigeon first, lift the chest. Make sure the knee is outside of the hip and not in front of the hip. And then gently walk yourself forward. Pull the left hip back, lengthen the spine. And depending on how your body's, where it is right now, today, is will guide you in how far you should go down. Allow yourself to become still. And just for the next moment, if there's a reoccurring thought or something that is just rolling around in your mind, go ahead and acknowledge that thought. Then on the exhale, just let that thought go and know you can return to it after this practice. So on the exhales, just releasing. And then slowly coming back, taking downward dog. If you're lying on your back, go ahead and switch to the other ankle over the knee for figure 4 stretch on the back. Step the right foot forward, right side of the shin to the mat. Walk the left foot back, standing tall here. Lift the chest, and then slowly guide yourself forward. Pull the right hip back. Lengthen the spine. Take your time. Find what works for your body here. This time on the inhales, allow yourself to expand in the breath a little bit more through the back body. And on the exhales, allowing yourself to become more present. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, giving over to this moment. And slowly, we'll come back up to downward facing dog. And we'll walk our hands back. If you're lying down, go ahead and roll to one side and come to stand. And then folding in here. Have a nice bend in the knees if you have lower back issues. If the hands aren't quite connecting to the ground, bring your hands to blocks. Draw the belly in. Let the head hang. And for some, it might help to move the weight a little bit toward the front of the foot. Holding here for another inhale, exhale. Slowly roll up to stand, being mindful of your back. If you have lower back issues, bend those knees. Great. Taking a block or two, placing it along the wide side of the mat. We'll step wide here. Inhale, lift your chest, bring your hands to your hips. Open the chest up. The toes are parallel, the feet are parallel. Exhale, half forward fold, forehead to blocks. And if that doesn't work for you, just release the blocks. So finding a moment here for the positioning. Let the head rest. Let the hands rest. So if the neck is at all in a weird or awkward position that doesn't feel right, just remove the block. You can also play with adjusting the height here, so finding what works for your body. Finding a half forward fold or a full forward fold, but allowing your head to rest. Push the thighs back. One more inhale and exhale. Slowly release the head. Bringing the blocks off to the side, bend your knees, and slowly come back up to stand and heel toe the feet together. Taking child's pose or resting hero's pose. So come to the knees, separate the knees wide, bring your heels to the hips. The heels lift off the hip. Go ahead and place a blanket or pillow underneath. Allow the head to rest. Draping the torso in between the knees, in between the legs. Ground down. And if the head isn't reaching, find a blanket and place it underneath the forehead. Stretching through the sides of the body. Give yourself into this moment. And either staying there in resting heroes or lifting up to the knees, intertwining the fingertips, or the fingers, I should say. So your hands are clasped. Hugging the elbows a little bit in so they're underneath the shoulders, and we'll move into dolphin pose. So curl the toes under, lift the hips, and let the head hang. And for some, if you'd like, you can draw your hips back and rest the head. Coming more to the crown of the head. Taking a few more rounds of breath here. Slowly lower the knees down. Taking your blanket, we'll come to seated on the blanket. Take your strap. Bend the right leg, bring the bottom of the foot to the inside, and then turn your torso toward the left leg. And taking the strap just underneath the toes so you're not crunching the toes, lift the chest, sit tall, and then exhale, begin to fold. So either catching hold of the foot, opening the elbows to open up the neck, or holding onto that strap. And for some, if you feel comfortable, you can grab that block, bring your head to the block, and let it rest. And I actually sneak my forearms to hug the block here. Take 3 more full rounds of breath. And 1 more. And slowly grab the block if you're using it, or release the strap, and we'll bring ourselves to the other side. Bringing the left foot in, bottom of the foot to the inside of the right leg. Taking that strap to the ball mound of the foot, lift the chest here. Arms are straight, but there's a lot of space in the neck and shoulders. Grab the block if you're using it, and you can lean forward here and place the head to the block, easing into it. Making sure the back of the leg is pressing down. 2 more rounds of breath. And release the strap, release the block. We'll do a little bit of pranayama here. So taking a moment to sit tall and sit quietly. Place your hands to the thighs. Gently close the eyes. Taking a full inhale. On the exhale, relaxing the throat, the jaw, allowing the breath to be smooth, calming, and quiet. Gently blink the eyes open. We're moving on to bee's breath. You heard me, like a bumblebee. Brahmari, I believe is what it is called. So what we'll do is we'll take our pointer fingers and we'll gently just plug our ears, not going all the way in, just gently plugging them a little bit. And we will hum like a bee. So the palms will flip forward. Fingers will be slightly in the ears. Your eyes will be closed, and you'll go just like that. Okay? So we'll repeat that for 5 rounds. Make sure to inhale through the nose and exhale as you hum out through the nose. All right, let's begin. Palms flip, plug the ears, and lift the chest. Gently close your eyes and relax your forehead. Begin to hum like a bee here. Do it again. Few more. Repeat. Last one. Release the hands down. Draw the palms together. Gently bow the head. Rub your hands. Cup the center of your hands over your eyes. Slowly blink your eyes open and remove the hands from your face. Thank you so much. Thank you for practicing with me today. I can't wait to see you again soon.